Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a beautiful ride on a fun bike. This is the Propain Tyee. I did have to look up how to actually pronounce that because, I mean, look at the name. But this is an unbelievably fun bike. We've been climbing about 1,500 feet so far. And, you know, it's climbing all right. I had my lungs roasted by one of the local fast dudes. That definitely pushed me and pushed the bike. But it's doing okay. The power transfer is fairly effective. The position is nothing extreme. You can look at all the geometry numbers, go crazy on your seat angle, height angle, and reach and all that jazz. But from the riding perspective, it's doing great. And from a relatively small brand, they got some stuff dialed on this thing. Morning. Now on this climb, we're gonna get some steep stuff. I took it on some really technical stuff yesterday. Didn't lose grip like you could have. It's, like I said, the power transfer is really, really good. Now, both of us are riding these absolutely monster truck bikes. We're talking 170 mils of travel in the front, 160 rear. And the biggest conversation topic so far has been the setup, meaning what stem length we're running, what tires we're running. Both of us agreed that the saddle is not the most comfortable thing ever for us, but who knows? It might be for you. But that's how the bike climbs really well. It is a big bike. I should note that I'm running Magic Mary super gravity casing tires. These are not the fastest tires ever. Which brings up the point of asking a lot of questions. Talk to your local friends at the bike shops. Ask what tires they could recommend if you're unsure about what preference you have. Woo! Trying to keep up with Jason up here. Good times. Well, let's get to the top. Let's get ripping. That's where I'm really excited to get this bike. On some chunky, high-speed Jacob's Ladder fun. Let's do it. Now that was cool. We're just sitting up here at the top. Two hikers come by and they're like, "Hey, what bikes are those?" So we just told the story. I mean, that's awesome when you're just chilling up here. Beautiful spot. Cool bike. And I'm calling it. This is the BMW of mountain bikes right now. It's precise, it's clean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Engineering is masterful. Rides incredibly stiff. Ready to race is really what it is. Goodness, let's get after it. All right, party time, y'all. We're on the Propain Tyee on Jacob's Ladder. This is a big bike built to have some fun, so let's do it. Woo! All right, my initial nimble test is pretty good. Here's our first little bit of chunkiness. Woo! I definitely felt that. It's not a magic carpet, but certainly very, very precise. Oh yeah, felt that landing. Goodness, you push off of everything. It says, let's go. Woo! Manual's pretty easy, I like that. A little noisier than I'd like. That's not the end of the world. You're just going too fast and having too much fun to care. Woo! section kind of reminds me of a pivot. The ride's fairly high in the travel, which I love. Climbing up here, didn't have to worry about pedal strikes near as much. Woo! Keeps you on your toes, keeps it really nimble. Good gravy. Woo!
Thanks. Oh, that was a lot of chain slap. That was so loud. Was yours loud?
It was so loud.
It's like, it sounded like a slap on metal.
Yeah, it was the loudest bike I've ridden down that in a minute.
I felt like way on top of the bike.
Yeah, I was feeling the same thing. I commented on that several times as we were riding.
Oh, really?
That I felt on top of the bike. It's weird because it felt huge as I was climbing.
Yeah.
But as soon as I like stood up and was going fast, it was like a little more twitchy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the front tire. I have a ton of time on this tire too.
Yeah.
I didn't feel very confident in the turns. Like you dropped me like a ways back up there.
And I was feeling squirrely too, which was interesting. I mean, it felt...
It's almost like I need to slow down the rebound or something. I wouldn't mind adding a little compression too.
Yeah. Gotta get stuff dialed in, but really it felt small going fast, which is either really fun or it's unnerving. Like you either want a big travel bike that's super quick and nimble, or it's like, hey, I want a big travel bike that's unbelievably plush.
I felt like it was stable when I was going straight through the straight sections. It's through the tight sections where I felt like I was a little bit like on top of it.
Yeah. Which is cool if you want to really slap the bike around, but...
I don't.
Exactly.
I like to sit in the bike through the turn a little bit. It gives you a little confidence. Well, let's see how it does down here.
Let's do it. All right, so we just finished Jacob's Ladder. High-speed, chundery, fun things to jump off of. Goodness, this bike wants to get off the ground, but it's either twitchy or maneuverable, depending on your perspective. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling up on top of the bike, which is not my personal riding preference, but some people really like to have that maneuverability. Personally, I would run this front end just a little bit higher. Or rather, I would want to sit either taller on the travel. I can adjust the volume to do that. Or I just run my handlebar a little bit higher. This is not a incredibly high-rise bar. But we're doing all right. Getting used to it. Getting acquainted. Getting those ice-breaking questions out of the way. Now, much of that squirreliness I mentioned earlier does have to do with getting used to bike setup, specifically tire pressure. I mentioned I was running a whole bucket load of PSI in this rear tire. Just a reminder that tubeless is great. Running a tube with really high pressure is not as fun. Woo! I'm having trust issues on these flat corners, but so far not for any good reason. I'm hooking up just fine. Interesting. It feels like I'm too on the front. The back end's all jacked up. Woo! Ooh, I do love a fresh, nice, brand new drivetrain though. It's another reminder that this bike is more of a BMW of bikes. It's less about plush, cushy flow. It's more about precision. Like, I imagine some BMW engineer just saying, hey, it's gonna be luxurious, but it's gonna be fast, and it's gonna be tight. Ooh, there's that chain slap. I definitely feel like I can put the bike wherever I want. Like, you push in and there's just so much support. Until all of a sudden you just, you know, run out of your 160 mils of travel. I'd be really curious to try the short travel rig. Let's talk about some impressions thus far as we look at the beautiful trees. It's fast, it's big. It doesn't feel big when you're riding it though. It's incredibly maneuverable. It is tight, it's precise. That chain slap is a thing though. Like, good gravy. People can definitely hear you coming, which is, you know, it's not a bad thing. I'd rather have a rubber ducky or a squeaky something on the front or a bell for that. But it's doing awesome. Really, this is a brilliant bike for the type of rider who wants to be up on top of the bike, telling it what's up, having that really involved riding experience. Goodness. Fun stuff.